Thank you, Tommy. That's a sandwich right there, fellas.
Oh, man,
I don't care where you're from, that's a sandwich.
Mine loaded sandwiches like that.
So here we go, guys. We're going to step back in time right here. Well, hello everyone, this is John Ward with the Appalachian Channel, and I'm back in Appalachia, Virginia. You might have saw the last video I made here about a month ago where we drove through and documented some of the buildings that I absolutely loved and found amazing. Actually, this is one of the buildings right here that I documented that's on the Guinness Book of World Records, and if you want to know why, you'll have to go back and watch that video, because this video is about the Appalachian Mercantile, this building right here. This was once Wits Appliances, but now it's a sandwich and coffee shop. And we're gonna go in, meet the owner, Tommy, who reached out to me and contacted me after my last video here and asked if I'd be interested in coming documenting his business. And I said, absolutely, because I love restaurants and I love old buildings and the history that comes with them. We're gonna talk to some of the customers, some of the locals, hear some of their stories, and hear more about what you can do while visiting here in Virginia. This is Wise County, right outside of Big Stone Gap. 2 miles down the road where Big Stone Gap is, there's a lot more restaurants and different things to see and do. But as many of you know, these older Appalachian towns that once were booming with coal mining business no longer has but about 10% of that same business. So many of these towns are struggling and they depend a lot on tourism. And we're going to invite you to come and visit Wise County, especially right here in Appalachia, Virginia. You ready? We're going to go upstairs and we're going to get to see some stuff. And they also stored some of the old televisions that they sold in the appliance store that got left behind. I've done been up there and looked, and I'm excited. Come on, guys, let's go. Well, hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, you?
Going good. I'm back in Appalachia and excited about being here today to do a tour of your store and meet some of your customers and local people and
Glad to
get a little bit of history of the store. We've talked about it a little bit already and I love it. Was just talking about this sign right here. That was buddy got that out of the garbage for you, huh?
Yeah, it worked somewhere. He was at another office and they had thrown it in the trash can. He dug it out and brought it to me.
Those are very rare find to find something like that.
Double-sided, look.
Double-sided.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. So, yeah, love the building, love the ceiling. Now, what do you call this upper deck? Does it got a certain name they call this up here, like a mezzanine or something like that, or do you?
A lot of people call it that. I always just say the balcony. I don't.
The
really
balcony.
know.
Okay.
I don't really know what it's supposed to. Everybody says mezzanine though, but
yeah, I've seen them in some stores before.
That was my favorite part of the building when I first seen the inside of the building though. They would do a thing called Miss Caboose down here where they'd have all the boys dressed, the football team dressed as girls. And this is where they'd get them all ready in here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember it from then?
Yeah, but I didn't really pay attention to it then, but I came back in here for one of their meetings and I seen the building and I fell in love with it.
Okay, you come in for one of the Lions Club meetings and
yeah.
I see something up there that I've got a few of. That's looks like an old 8mm. I guess I don't know if that's 8mm. What's that projector you got up there?
I think it's 8mm. That's the one from the high school that they actually showed the game films on.
Oh, really?
The Appalachian game films, yeah.
Well, how about that?
They
Did you play football at high school, and so you ended up with one of the old projectors?
I've got boxes of the old reels up there from the 70s and 80s, the old game films.
So let's look over here in this corner. Let's start over here because we got a lot of history right here that you found upstairs, and we're going to get to go back upstairs and look at that again. We was up there earlier, and boy, it was really a treat to get to see all that. So these are all stuff that when this was a oh, look at this Zenith sign. Now, where'd you find this one? Upstairs?
Yeah.
And it still works?
I put a new light in it. It worked when I first plugged it up, but then I was a little sketchy, so I put a new light in it and hooked it up. These were all left over from Wits Appliances. These right here were still in a box in paper.
Really? Still in a box?
Like new old stock, I guess.
I like this right here. Look here. Radio, television, stereophonic, high definition. Is that how you pronounce that? Stereophonics?
I guess so, yeah.
High fidelity. Okay. Yeah, that must be at least from the 40s or maybe 50s. I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell us in the comments. But that's a nice find. You found that in the building.
Yeah, that and all these GE signs, the Zenith signs, RCA sign. That's one of my favorites. And these records are a buddy of mine's dad. They've owned a recording studio in Big Stone for, I don't know when they started, but it's Maggard Recording Studio.
That's one of them that they recorded, huh?
Yeah, they recorded with Alabama, Ralph Stanley. I'm pretty sure they won a Grammy at one point for a bluegrass or gospel album.
Well, this is, I love the floors. You said it had carpet originally?
It had carpet and then like a 1/4 inch of plywood and probably like 100,000 nails through the whole thing.
So tell them how you ended up with this building and how it came about.
I guess almost 5 years ago, we were having a Main Street meeting. We started a Main Street Business Association, me and the guy that owns Blackberry Barbecue, Chris Williams. And I told him, I said, if you get me the building, I'll put a business in it. He just got elected mayor and got a new town council. My wife was 6 months pregnant, and I was kind of halfway joking. And he called me the next day and said, well, I think we worked it out for you to get the building. I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? But they worked it out as long as I fixed the building up the road for the Lions Club to move into. Then if I kept this one 3 years, then I owned the building. And it's been 4 years now, so we own it all.
And y'all have another business here in town too?
Yeah, we have a pet grooming business right down across the parking lot next to the towers.
So it's in one of the vintage buildings too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the towers are down here. It's the tallest one, the old hotel, and she's right below it.
Okay. I'll have to see if I can check that out. It takes me a little while to understand where everything's at.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see actually here they've built on or replaced something for some reason a little bit.
At one time, the door came in right here. There's some old pictures. The door came in right here.
Oh, okay.
It was right in the middle.
So they've redesigned it a little bit.
Yeah, so they patched that in.
So we're going to show some of your cooking today as lunch starts, crowd starts coming in, and we're going to show some of the, you're doing taco salads today. And
yeah, taco salads and our club sandwiches, hot dogs.
Well, this is your kitchen. We'll come back to that in a little bit as the day goes on, but I think the people want to see what you showed me earlier upstairs because I know I want to see it again. It was just amazing. We're going to go up to the balcony, and then from the balcony we go up even further.
This right here is from the 77 flood.
Right here? And,
yeah. I can't remember if this is that. That's Fort Blackmore, but it flooded Appalachia, like most of Appalachia, the whole area.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And then this is just a bunch of old like Appalachia stuff.
You'll probably start finding that people will start bringing you stuff and probably already have been bringing you stuff.
I get all kinds of stuff. We've got one lady, Janet, that brings me, she's decorated half the shop with the stuff she's brought us. This right here he was the head coach at Appalachia, Tom Turner. He won 6 state championships. And
this area is for storytelling? Is this your storytelling area?
This is just the kids area. They read stories down there next to the stage, and when they come up here, it's still kind of a mess, but the kids come through, and by the end of the story time, it's toys from here to the far end of the building.
Now, how'd you come up with toy time? Or reading time, or whatever you call it?
We call it stories and tall tales is what we call it.
Okay. And Bud does that for you. Yeah,
Buddy comes and reads, and he loves doing it.
Let's look at this projector while we're up here. Is this the case for it, or is that another one?
This is the one that came from the high school.
Oh, that's the one that came from the high school. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's a lot newer one there.
Yeah, and then I've got that old one right there too.
Yeah, now I've had a few like that right there that I bought at one time.
And these are all Appalachia football film, like reels from the football team back in the day. This is my little junk. Look, I got a laser over here. I make a mess right here I engrave hats and do leather hats and.
Okay, is this something you made here? Or?
No, this is just old stuff we bought. Like we sell the older.
You said you did something to hats, so I was kind of.
I did like this one.
Oh, you engrave it onto the leather.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
I can do it in like wood and stuff. I've got one of the lasers.
So let's look at this. Is a great view up here to look down. This is beautiful.
This too, because it was a Zenith. So
oh, okay.
Turned it.
Well, eventually you're gonna have enough appliances. You can set up a display like it's a store again, an old appliance store. So I guess you probably get a lot of the locals that come in and remember when it was an appliance store.
Yeah, they do.
Time. Now, what's this area over here? Just people want to come up here and get some coffee and sit? And...
Yeah, and I got a record player. You can pick through the records and find you a record to listen to.
Oh, okay.
It's got Tyler Childers on it right now, which is, he's an Appalachian singer.
Tyler Childers, yeah, I know that. So, artist.
And sell these records down here and stuff. He's 45. And Buddy that you were going to talk to, he was working on the house and he pulled this out of it and built this box and gave it to me.
Okay, found that stamped on there.
Yep.
So they got a nice sitting area up here.
Yeah, and my sister-in-law Nancy takes care. She does all these flowers. These are like her babies.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
Works
see
here
you
with
got
me.
a bunch of succulents up here.
Yeah, she's got flowers everywhere. I don't touch them because I'll probably kill them.
I'm not much on flowers either. I forget to water them or I give them too much water. So here we go, guys. We're going to step back in time right here, and
this isn't nearly as pretty up here, but it's cool.
Oh no, but this is the history. And let me get my flashlight out too. I should have looked in the car to see if I had my big flashlight, but I didn't look. I think we'll be able to see with this.
This is untouched for 50 or 60 years probably.
Do you have any idea when the last year the appliance store was open? Any clue?
Not sure. If Eddie Green would have came by, he could have told me because he remembers the day that it all. They own Green Funeral Home here it's been open almost 100 years now. There's the old TVs. If I hadn't put all my Christmas decorations there, you could see it better.
So they had them kind of accumulated in here, just.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And this is all stuff. That's something from the Masons. I don't know from when.
They might have had a lodge here at one time.
And all these old pictures, I have no clue who these people are. There's several old pictures up here.
Well, there's another box full of papers, ain't it?
Yeah, that's just.
You ain't even started on looking at them, have you?
Years and years of
receipts.
Yeah.
Yes, customer receipts.
These are all the boxes and just all the leftover stuff from the furniture they had.
Wow. So you know what? Even these vintage boxes sometimes.
Yeah.
People like those if they've got the item that came out of them. Sometimes original boxes are worth a lot of money.
Look, this is from 1946.
Account receipt.
Accounts received. This box is from 48, 49, 46, 47, and 48. They've been wrapped up. This is 46 to 41. They've been sealed up, I guess, since 1951.
Yep, them is interesting. Probably. So there's another window right there.
Yeah, that one's a lot smaller than the other one.
So we was talking about those windows when we come up here earlier when I got here this morning, and there's a shaft that goes up through there. Was at one time.
Yeah, you can see there's a big one right there. And this was I guess this is where they worked on everything in here. I never even looked at that. It's stick candy. I don't know, it's full of dirt. I guess I had a flare, but I put that downstairs. Pure King Leo Quick Energy Food stick candy.
Yeah, I have
cool.
seen one of those cans like that before.
I didn't even notice it sitting there. Every time I come up here, it's like finding new stuff. There's so much stuff up here.
Treasures, treasures, treasures.
This was their room where they worked on the TVs. At one time, I think they done it in the basement, but there's a lot of water problems like from the mountain. I don't know how they ever worked on there.
So we looked at this earlier when we was down here. We got a little bit more light. I went back and got the flashlight. This was some way to bring in natural sunlight or air to the people that lived in apartments. And we really can't tell much from here, but that's if anybody knows anything about this design where these rooms had these windows you could open up, let us know in the comments.
Look at these. Like, I'm pretty sure this is just like a sketch of. I have no clue who these people are. They've been up here since I got it. These are old pictures. Pretty pictures though.
Yeah, probably from here in Appalachia, I would think.
Here's the family tree, look. 1904, 1922. Stewart family.
Now, what's these, batteries of some sort, or transistors, or what would these be?
For
Wondering.
them old TVs. This is like the your dial, I think. That would have stuck out. I think it would have stuck out to TV. I don't know anything about them. It's way before me, but. There's old tubes up here from the old TVs, and this is full of stuff. There's pieces to an old soda fountain here somewhere too. There's some of the old bottles. All those doorknobs and stuff. There's all kinds of cool stuff in here.
So we saw a kitchen that was on the upper floor from this, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's on
earlier.
the top floor.
Apparently, that might have been a community kitchen where everybody here could go in there and cook, I guess. You think? Have you heard anybody that ever lived here that knew?
No, I've never met anybody that ever stayed in here. And that's all the doors and stuff.
And right here is something I thought was neat. We'll see that when we go upstairs. I saw that. It's a balcony where you can look down here, and I guess that helped also on ventilation.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing back in the day, there was no air conditioning. So keeping air flowing through here probably was a little bit of a job. These are old manuals, or no, they're not manuals, but they would be sales brochures, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
That they would have sent here for the stuff that they were selling. Boxes full of them. Yeah. Check out.
The Jimmy Stewart biography.
Right. Yeah, a person that likes. Well, see, here's another one. So there must have been multiple windows like that.
I think every room has one, pretty much. Besides out here, because it's to the outside.
Now this might have been like a deluxe room here. They might have had 2 rooms for this apartment.
And that's just more paperwork.
Did you ever look to see what was all in those little packages, those envelopes like that?
I think they're
Is
the bank statements, First
bank
National
statements,
Bank.
okay.
That's the old bank that was up there.
1954. This was number 1. Look at that.
Yeah.
Number 1. And it had a closet maybe out here in the hallway. A little closet here. And so this would have probably been
Here's the old
a little bit bigger room than normal.
Fuse box. Look how pretty the wood is. Power's all killed to it, but that's what I was talking about. How old that wiring? It's all got to be rewired. But I like how the detail in it.
Are you going to try to like keep this wood, as much wood and everything you can?
Yeah, we got the grants to come in, and they've got it all drawn up how to save. We just got to find the money to actually do the work.
Yeah, that's not cheap doing remodel work like this.
These are a little bit more updated, still not modern, but.
Yeah, it's odd how they come up here and redid the wiring up here. This all looks brand new, but we know this ain't new.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got. This must be a thermostat. Wonder what they must have been using some kind of. I don't know what kind of heat that would have been too.
Still got all the old radiators in every room. And
This TV was up here.
Yeah, I cleaned this room up to do that video, the music video in.
So this would have been a room like the one below, but this is a kitchen. It's probably a community kitchen now that I'm looking at this for everybody that lived here in the apartments. This room is identical to the one below it,
yeah.
Except that would have been a bedroom and a living room downstairs.
That scared me, didn't it? See, there's another one on the shaft.
Yeah. Yeah, air shafts or light shafts or something.
There's a bathroom.
Bathroom. You know, that they had to be somebody living here until the 70s, I'm gonna think.
Well,
This bathroom
all those
looks
old
like-
newspapers in up there in the front and stuff were 1970s.
70s, are they? Okay.
Yeah, Chris Christopherson and everybody in them. That was in the 70s, I think.
Here's that balcony we saw.
And that dresser downstairs that had the old hats and the clothes on it in the balcony, it came from right over there. It was up here. Took it down and cleaned it up. And
Look at that box there. See what this is.
I think it's a furniture. I don't know if there's a bed or.
No, right there's your piece of advertisement. Basket. See that one that says Kearns on it? That's cool. See that?
Yeah.
Got some food right there.
And this is the article that cut one. These are the women coal miners.
That's the paper you gave me?
Yeah. Yeah, all that's in this. This is all in that one. Women miners say they're here to stay. And that's all here in Appalachia.
So they had a whole stack of them. They must have had some reason ever who lived
It was
here.
a
Might
big
have been
old-
one of those coal miner women.
I've given everybody I brought up here one of those.
Give them one.
And this
Now
is,
here's something that's.
this has still got the old bed in it, but it's broken. It's still got the tag on it.
Oh, it does. Still in the box.
Part of it's broken. I've looked in it before.
That looks like a full-size bed.
Yeah, it's broken. I mean, it could be fixed. Look.
Oh, you
It's
can fix anything wood.
Yeah, it's still got the tags on it there.
That's neat. I gotta take a look at that. That's why it's set up here. It got broke. We never fixed it. Medicine cabinet of some sort, maybe.
That's what it looks like.
Look at this right here. This a rug or
Yeah, it's over one
a
rug.
notion, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's more of a mess back here. This is the biggest part of the project because this right here, like I was saying, is outside the main part of the building. It covers up over the top or the bottom floor. Bottom floor ends in the kitchen, and this kind of like covers over it.
Oh, this goes over past the bottom then.
Yeah, it goes out over and meets all the way up against the main road back there.
Okay, so it had an exit. This was an exit then.
Yeah, that's a door, and it's supposed to. There's like you can see the rails out back where the porch would be. There's no porch there, and I got to build a new one, but it'll go right out to the main road right there.
Well, I appreciate you letting the viewers see
Yeah,
this little step back in time. To
it's not
see.
pretty, but it's cool to look at. Look.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I love anything like this, especially that it's being used and in the process of even being more stuff being done to it in the future.
I've brought random people up. They'll ask about it, and I'll be like, "You want to go see it?" Just because I like walking around up here.
Well, there's going to be a lot of people see it now.
Yeah. But I love how it's still got all the original woodwork and trim. And
Yeah, look at that.
you feel the cool air coming up.
All right, you can close the time capsule back. Which the whole building is a time capsule. Very beautiful
That's what I was talking about, our coffee, where I call it Preacher Creek Coffee, our brand. That's Preacher Creek Coal Company. That's the lease mines my great-grandpa. A bunch of guys in Derby ran. That's their pay stuff from 1965.
It's called Preacher Creek?
Yeah, Preacher Creek.
Now, where that term come from? Is that in there?
That's the creek coming out of Derby. The coal camp up there where we all live. And that's called Preacher Creek, so they called it Preacher Creek Coal Company. That's I had my dad's, on my dad's side, both sides of my great-grandpas worked in that mines. And this is my granny's dad, Cecil Grindstaff. And these are his pay stubs from the 60, 63, 65.
I don't have my glasses on. What they make there that week? Is it weekly or bi-monthly?
He worked 88 hours, so it must have been 2 weeks. He made $154.
Okay.
And that was before. And then here, when they worked at the lease mines, they barely made any money. He worked 93 and a half hours for $1.50 an hour. Made $124 after everything came out.
And that lease mine was because they wanted to try to get in their union hours?
Yeah, they had shut the mines down up in Derby, I guess, and they needed to get their, like, you had to have 20 years in, I think, and some of them were lacking it. So they started mining the coal up there, and I guess they wouldn't know where to work, so they leased it. And that's my great-grandpa Cecil, my granny's daddy. That's his union agreements. That one's from 1937, then 1971, and 1940.
This looks like all stuff that would have came out of the mine offices or wherever they would have been. This was really cool. I like this old store right here. Unfortunately, you say it's no longer around.
That's the Arno
store.
That
is absolutely beautiful.
And here's a picture of the actual picture of the store.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
And this was the Rhoda store, which is where I grew up in Rhoda, and I live in Derby now. But that was that big parking lot where the church is. And that's my great-grandpa Thomas, the one that had the lease mines. And I'm not sure where that's at. It just looked cool.
Well, I'm here with Bud, and Bud is the storyteller here. Tell us a little bit about what you do for the kids here.
Well, about 3 years ago, Tommy asked me if I'd come down and read to the kids on Thursday mornings, and sometimes we've had as high as 20-some, and it's been down to 2 or 3, but we get books and we read them, and the kids have fun, and I have fun, and we just have a good time. Tommy always has a craft afterwards, and then after they do the crafts, they always have a snack for them. So we have a good time from 10 o'clock till about 11:30 every Thursday morning. So if you're ever in the area, stop by the Mercantile.
Okay, and that's it's one of the things we was talking about when they opened it up. What was you calling it? You was calling it something different.
I was calling it Mercantile.
Mercantile?
And everybody said, no, it's not Mercantile, it's Mercantile. So I tried to turn hillbilly anyway.
Well, it looks like they must have pretty good food here. They got quite a few people coming in for lunch.
I'll tell you one thing, buddy. I come in one day, and I usually don't eat in the middle of the day, and come in with my wife, my daughter, and my granddaughter, and my two great grandsons, and I said, I believe I want me a cheese sandwich. I said, just toast me a cheese and put me 3 pieces of bacon on it. And that's what I ate for 2 or 3 weeks. And then the next time I said, put me a slice of tomato on that. So one day next week when I come down, I'm going to tell him to put bacon, tomato, an onion, and cheese on that cheese sandwich. So I just keep adding. They've got if you go back there and tell them you want, I don't know what kind of coffees they call those coffees, but one of them, my granddaughter, they said, give me a Krista coffee.
Yeah.
And it's the kind that my granddaughter likes, so it must be pretty good, but my coffee's black.
Well, I've been talking to Bud, and you grew up right down the road here not far, next little community over, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little railroad community called Andover. Interstate Railroad started in the early 1900s, and Andover is a railroad community.
You grew up there too, though, didn't you?
We moved there when I was 4 years old, and been there for 73 years. Yeah, sure have.
Well,
and
you worked in the coal mine. What coal company did you work for?
I worked for Westmoreland Coal Company, and then I worked for a Looney Creek Coal Company, and or at a prep plant, Looney Creek prep plant, and worked for Powell Mountain for a few months, and then the last 5 years I worked steady. I worked for Tom's Creek Preparation Plant that was owned by Alpha Natural Resources up in Coburn, and finished my time out up there and retired.
You was an electrician, right?
I was electrician, mechanic, gopher. I never could see anybody work by themselves. If somebody was doing something, I'd jump in and help them. It was the more you done, the faster the hours went by. If you stayed busy, I never could sit still. If you stayed busy, the 8 hours didn't seem like 6. Sometimes you stayed so busy, but.
So, like many of the Appalachian communities, the coal mining's kind of slowed down, or what's happened nowadays compared to what it used to be?
They've slowed down a whole lot. There's one company that's still truck coal. The biggest part of it is up above Andover, called Crossbrook. They still got some tandem tractor and trailers that they load up there and still take to the places down in North Carolina, to CP&L, Carolina Parent Lights, and some of the other places that we used to take and load railroad cars and send down. But it's still going, but nothing. Maybe 10% of what used to be back in the 70s.
10% of what it used to be. Yeah, we see that everywhere. Now, was it coal regulations on the sulfur in the coal, or what caused the decline of it?
No, it was just we shut down. Because we still had the people wanting the coal. We were the supplier and they were consumer. We still had consumers that wanted the coal, but they just said it wasn't enough profit in it from what it used to be. We had met coal. Met coal was used harder for the steel mills in the upper part of the United States. Michigan, those was Indiana, where the steel mills was at. We shipped met coal to them. The sulfur, you've got ways to control the sulfur and stuff. When I loaded the train, they took the BTUs, the sulfur, I hadn't thought of those 3 things in a long time, but you had to take samples off the belt line every 10 minutes, to make sure that all the samples met their specification. You had an independent company that tested the samples we took, and you had like CP&L's coal samplers, and then you had our company samplers, and they would all put them together, after they done it and seen how close they were and everything. But
did they ever mine coal that they couldn't sell?
No. The seams that we were in, it was all good coal. It was.
So I'm trying to figure out, what could we put a finger on, anything that's caused the decline of it, and all of Appalachia. I'm talking about West Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Different ways to make electricity.
Different ways.
The solar,
hydropower,
the solar, the windmills.
So you think people just not using as much coal now?
I'd say, and a lot of places, they use coal for heat. I mean, we'd ship coal every place, and they'd be a supplier that'd take and sell it for house coal, for small business coals, that run furnaces and stuff.
You don't see that much no more, though.
No, you don't.
You was talking about something, and I talked to Bud about coming back and doing spend a few hours with him here in the area where he lives at.
All right, you.
And he is going to take us and show us around one day. I'm going to come back in a month or so, and I got his phone number. But he lives in his house. Tell us about your house.
Well, I went to school in my house for my first 5 years of education.
It was a schoolhouse. What was it called? What was the name of it?
It was Andover Community School.
Now, what grades did it go through back then?
It went 1st, 2nd, and 3rd was in one room.
Okay.
And 4th and 5th was in the other room.
Okay.
The 2nd grade came from 8:30 in the morning till 12 during the day, and the 1st graders came from 1 o'clock till 3:30 of the evenings. And the 3rd grade stayed all day, and the 4th and 5th grade stayed all day.
Now, did you go through from 1st to 5th, you said?
Yes.
How about that?
And my 5th grade teacher opened my eyes up. That was her first year of teaching, and she opened my eyes up to learning. And it was. So
the county apparently put it up for auction at some point.
No, it belonged to the coal company.
Now why would the coal company own the school at that time?
The coal companies built all the camps up.
So it was
a land company that
So what,
that
the
owned
county run?
No, the county furnished the teachers, but the companies furnished the buildings.
How about that? Okay.
Yeah.
So you bought this from a coal company after?
It was a land company.
Land company.
Yeah, it was a sealed bid auction, and
What year was that?
we took papers down the 8th or 9th of November of '97. It was a sealed bid auction, and the land company was down in Duffield. And November 11th, on a Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, they called and said I was the highest bidder on the schoolhouse. And I got a good story.
How many years had the building sat empty?
Since I think I shut it down in '64.
Oh wow!
I believe in '64, so it's from '64 to '97 when I started.
So you had to do some work to it, I guess.
Yeah. They used it for a storage building.
Well, I'm wanting to see that when I come back. You gonna let
I'll be
me come
glad.
see
Yes,
it?
sir.
You're gonna take me around in your ATV and show us some stuff?
Yeah, we'll cruise Andover.
Well, Bud's getting ready to go. He calls it go play. I thought, he said, I'm going to get ready to go play. And I said, what are you going to do? Go play music? He said, no, I'm going to go weed eat and mow. And I said, well, that ain't playing, that's work.
Yeah, no, that's mine and the Lord's time. That's when I do a lot of my praying when I'm out by myself.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to speak words. He knows the words that's going through your mind.
I know what you mean. Well, I'm going to tell us a little bit before I let you go here. Well, tell us a little bit about the appliance store that used to be here.
It was Wits Appliances, and I can remember my dad coming down. Radios and TVs all had tubes back in.
Yeah.
And it'd get the blurb, wouldn't have the sound or whatever, and I can remember him taking a tube out and bringing it down and getting it tested. And they had a counter right here behind us that they had done all the work back behind them. And this was the showroom out here. And had the latest model TVs and all this stuff in it, and appliances. And I can remember him taking the tube out and come getting it checked, and it was good, so he'd go put it in and come back and bring another one down, and he'd just take them out one at a time where he wouldn't get mixed up where they went, But
you don't see no TV repair places no more, do you?
No,
They're disposable now, I guess.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of old school. You don't do that. You don't do the internet, do you?
No.
Show me if you got your phone there handy.
Yeah.
He was showing me his phone, and he's had it for a few years, I believe.
It's 2005 flip phone.
A 2005. So you've been using this same phone for 20 years?
Well, when I use it, a lot of times it don't get charged for about 3 months. It lays.
Will it stay charged that long?
No. But when I get it back out,
let me see that. Look at that. Check that out, guys. He still uses it. Still got an active number on it.
And it's went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Never failed to have service with it. Went to Houston, Texas, someplace in Connecticut, and these new i10s or whatever, wouldn't have some. And I've got 3 bars sitting right here with it.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to come back and spend some time with you here. We'll have a good day.
We'll eat us some Van Camp pork and beans and Armour's Vienna sausage and Ritz crackers.
I'll bring them. I'll bring some lunch with us. Well, it's been a great honor talking to you today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good meeting you, and thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. And
all right, this is Tommy, and Tommy is the owner. Tell us a little bit about how you ended up in this building here with this the Appalachian Mercantile.
Well, we run a dog grooming business down the street, and we were having a Main Street meeting one night, and I told the guy that had just become mayor if he could get this building for me, then I would put a coffee shop in it. And my wife was 6 months pregnant at the time. I was halfway joking, but he come back the next night and said, I think we got it worked out where you can get the building. And my wife was about to kill me. I was like, it was almost an accident, like kind of halfway joking that we were going to do it, and it worked out though. So we've been here now 4.5 years.
Well, you just keep on taking care of your orders. That's what I film you making the food and things like that. So you just keep working like you normally would. What are you making, a milkshake over here?
Yeah, butter pecan.
Butter pecan milkshake. So yeah, it looks like you got some ice cream going on here too.
Yeah.
Guess that's summertime.
Yeah, we got the new ice cream in about, I guess, 2 weeks ago. It's selling really good.
So did you grow up here in Appalachia?
Yep.
Yeah.
Went to school here. I was the next to last class, and my wife was the last graduating class at Appalachia High School.
Okay, so they don't have a high school here in Appalachia?
No, they closed it in Powell Valley and combined them into Union.
So you said Powell Valley.
Yeah.
Now,
That's in Big Stone.
that's the, now that we call this the Powell River out here?
Yep.
Okay. So that runs right through where I live at into North Lake.
Really?
Yeah, in
That's
Campbell
cool.
County.
Yeah, I've rode down that.
Yeah, that's where it goes to.
We go to Cherokee Lake a lot, and we ride down that way sometimes to get there.
Now that's a big sandwich. What are you making there? What are you doing to that?
That's a half a club. That's a club sandwich, but it's usually bigger than that. That's just got part of it on it.
You're grilling it? Is this
Yeah, I'm just toasting the bread some more.
So what type of work was you into before you started this?
I worked in the prison for a while. Worked in the prison. Worked in the mines a little bit, and then when we started the dog grooming, I started helping her with that. And I went back to school for a while. Got a degree, but I haven't used it yet. I'm still doing this.
been cooking, huh?
Yeah.
So was it food the first thing on your mind when you opened this up? Did it be a restaurant, or was it something
It was
else?
coffee to start with, and then
It was what?
just the coffee.
Oh,
At first,
coffee.
coffee
You was
shop,
just
and
gonna
then
do coffee.
it kind of.
Evolved.
It's hard to make it on just coffee, especially in small towns. So we started doing sandwiches and just doing more and more.
So you do, I see you had like taco salad today. So
Yeah,
that's
today's
something
taco.
you do once a week, or?
Yeah, we do it every so. We do a different special most days. That's the yeah.
So I guess if you hadn't been in the restaurant business, it was kind of a learning curve, I imagine, as you
Yeah.
got going and started making coffee, and then
Yeah, it was. I think we're still learning.
still learning, always
Yeah.
trying to improve or have
Yeah.
new items.
we
So apparently at the time, the mayor, when you asked about that, the mayor was really motivated to try to see a restaurant or something come in.
and then he opened Black Bear Barbecue down here. It's Chris
Okay.
Williams that owns Black Bear. He's the mayor now too, and
Oh, okay. So that's a newer building, or what kind of building's it in? I didn't
it's
see
just
that.
right down here on the left, right next to Town Hall. It used to be Fuller's Appliance. He's got a
Okay,
barbecue.
so it's in an
restaurant.
older building then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was no, not Fuller's Appliance. Fuller's. Was it a dress shop? I think it might have been like a dress. I'm not real sure. Chris could tell you, but yeah. And then Westmoreland had offices in there for a long time. And so he opened that, and then he's won Best Barbecue several times in the county, like for the county, and we won Best Coffee Shop, Best Sandwich Shop this year for the county. So
for Wise County or for Appalachia?
Wise County.
Well, that's a pretty big area then.
Yeah, so we won Best Coffee Shop, Best Sandwich Shop, and then he won Best Barbecue and Best Catering.
Okay. So do you get much tourism, people coming here for visiting or in this area?
He gets a lot down there. A lot of people come across the Dragon Slayer, but we don't get as many. I'd like to get more of them because
Dragon Slayer. Now tell me about that. What are you talking
It's
about? A trail, a road?
yeah, it goes from here to Lynch, Kentucky. They call it the Dragon Slayer, and it goes across the Black Mountain right here, and Lynch Mountain's what I call it. But
Now, is that part of, I saw a sign that said Appalachian Heritage Coal Trail or something, or
it's a new thing they started. I
Some
mean,
kind of coal-
It's a real curvy road, and I mean, a lot of weekends we have Porsches, Lambos, like
show up.
go through town, yeah, and go across that. It's a big trail they have going through
Now that
there.
trail, is that part of the Coal Heritage sign that I'm seeing, or is that something different?
It's something different, I think.
Something different, okay.
Yeah. There's one taco trail. Let me do it. And it gets thousands of people coming across the mountain a year.
Now is this a chili that you make?
Yeah, this was my grandpa's recipe.
Oh yeah?
He passed away, yeah.
And you make hot dogs too?
Yeah.
You use that same chili for the hot dogs?
Yeah. I used to do it separate, but the chilies taste so good that it just tastes good with the taco salad too. I think only me, my dad, and my brother know the recipe. And he, when I first got the recipe from my brother, He gave me the wrong recipe to start with.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and I was going to the store to buy everything, and he felt bad, and he
And there's two more behind you.
he called me and told me he'd told me the wrong recipe and gave me the real one.
Well, now, did he do that on purpose just so you wouldn't have it?
I think so. He'd been a turd. But he felt bad immediately and then called me and let me know about the real recipe. And that's what we've been doing. And I've made so much chili over the last 4 years.
That's something you do that in the mornings, or?
Yeah. It gets messy in here when it gets busy.
Get a lot of people to do to-go orders.
Yeah. Get a lot of people during lunchtime.
They just call it into you.
Yeah, I was just coming in. A lot of those guys out there work at the sawmill up here, and they come 3 or 4
Okay, I
times
see
a
the
week.
guys sitting over here waiting.
Yeah, they come quite a bit.
They getting these to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a sawmill here?
Yeah, if you go towards the north, there's a sawmill down under the hill on the right.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And those guys all work up there. It's been there forever. My dad worked there when I was a baby before he went into the mines.
All right, I've met a couple other ladies here. Tell us who y'all are.
I'm Sherry Honeycutt.
And I'm Holly Gimbosh Maddox, and we are from here in Appalachia. I own the Build-A-Bear Stuff-A-Plush in town. It's called Every Day is a Holiday. We have an indoor playground, and we would love to have you and your children to stop in and come and visit and play with us and spend some time getting to know the people here in Appalachia and what we have to offer.
Well, a lot of my people travel and they like to find things, but a lot of my people is retired, so they don't travel with kids a lot, but I sure think they got grandkids. And
Yes, that would be a wonderful gift to take home to your family, a good souvenir. We have little t-shirts in the store actually that say, that are local t-shirts. It has the bridge in town when you first come in that has Appalachia on it, and it says Appalachia, the only Appalachia in Appalachia.
So I had talked to Bud earlier, and everybody here seems to know Bud. You tell us a little bit. Let me let you hold that right there. Tell us a little bit about Bud.
Bud, I bought my house from his daughter, and he's the kind of guy that one day we have a cellar in the house, and we had it was wood and shingles on for the top. Well, he had noticed when he drove by, he rides by on his four-wheeler, that it had rotted. So next thing I know, he had come there and he had fixed it with it. We didn't even know it. Come home into a brand new top to the cellar. That's just the kind of guy he is. We call him the mayor of Andover. He's a great guy.
He tells me he lives in the school with the school in.
Yes, he
Turned
does.
it into a house.
Yes, and he kept it like with the historical society. It's great.
Good talking to you. You leaving?
Good seeing you, buddy.
Good meeting you. Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm going to come back and spend a day with him, and he's going to take me around places.
Oh, he's the best one. That's a perfect person to be your tour guide.
You would love that.
Yeah, he wanted to take me today, and I said, well, no, I got to film here today. I knew if I got out with him, I wouldn't be back.
No, you would not.
That's correct.
He's got some stories.
What's that, Tommy?
It's a club
We got a good club
Oh, my
sandwich here.
goodness.
Wow.
Just holler when you're ready.
Thank you, Tommy.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Turn that plate a little bit.
I'd like to know
Now,
how
are
many.
you going to eat that?
That's what I'm wondering. How am I going to get that in my mouth? Wow.
That's a good club sandwich.
And they make good chili beans too.
Well, I'm going to let you ladies eat, and when you get done eating, we'll talk again, okay?
Thank
Okay,
you so
thank you.
much.
Good meeting you all. Bye-bye.
I did it backwards. All the same stuff goes in it. I can add chips in the drink if you want.
Not no drink, just
Chips.
Well, I might take a milkshake if y'all got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What flavor
That'd
you
be
want?
fine. What's your flavor?
Any of those.
Okay.
I'm out of the Caramel River right now.
Okay, just give me the, I guess the chocolate.
Okay.
You got Rocky Road?
Now, what are you making here?
Club sandwich.
Club sandwich? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna have for lunch after a while. We'll get me one of them club sandwiches.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks. See you.
Got the stuff in here. She's all the time bringing. A while back, she brought me like an original G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, with all the stuff with it.
one of the big ones,
Yeah, I was like,
full size ones from the 70s.
yeah, it was like 69, 70. Like,
Yeah, that's what I played with. When I'm working, I can't hardly eat,
yeah.
you know. It's
I usually
like-
try to hurry and eat real fast right before 11, and then usually as soon as I make something to eat, when people start
customers
showing,
come in.
yeah, they start showing up. It gets busy in the morning, and then got a little bit between that we can finish getting everything ready, and then you want everything on it,
no onions.
No onions, okay.
Mayonnaise on it, I guess.
and then lunchtime it gets busy again. This is the worst part. Watching the time tick for the toaster to get done. I get impatient most of the time.
There you go.
Everything's getting low now. It's full in the morning, and then we end up having to refill it halfway or do it. Let's cut you some lettuce. Yeah, I'm going to cut some lettuce real fast. You said no onion, didn't you?
No onions, no. Now this is what you call your club sandwich.
Yeah,
This runs $8.75. Is that right on the menu?
I think so, yeah.
That's a big sandwich. How does somebody eat that?
I don't know. I had a little old lady one day come in, and I was like, I was already getting her stuff ready to wrap it up because I just knew she couldn't eat the whole thing, and she ate every bite and the crumbs. I was like, it surprised me. I was already getting something ready for her to take half of it home with.
Got bacon on it.
Bacon, ham, turkey, lettuce, tomato, onions if you want it, pickles, cheese, 3
And
pieces
then you
of
grill
toast.
it again.
Yeah. That thing's kind of ugly, but it gets used a lot. This thing here is pressed.
Guys, I don't care where you're from, that is a heck of a good sandwich right there. 3 pieces of bread, all kinds of meat, and I'm gonna try it out and see what it's like. All right, I'm here with Wendy Warden, and she is a native to Appalachia. She grew up here. Tell us a little bit about the history we've been talking about and you moving to Chicago when you was a teenager.
Okay, so I started my life here in Appalachia and in Bowdoin. Generationally, grandparents, coal mine, little bit of farming, but enough to feed 13 kids farming. And so my dad was a coal miner here, 3rd generation, and we stayed here until the mines became too unstable, and working at a gas station wasn't going to cut it for him, and we went north to the steel mills. He already had brothers who had gone north to work steel mills, so he moved all of us up there, and so then I spent a lot of years in Chicago. We came home 3 or 4 times a year, definitely a lot in the summer, back to here, back to Bowdoin. So my heart was always here, but my body wasn't. And then 3 years ago, my husband and I had a chance to move back, and we did. And we didn't move to Appalachia, we moved to Big Stone, 3 miles away. But it's good to be home.
Tell us a little bit more about when you first got to Chicago, about your accent and your Appalachian accent. And
my Appalachian accent, which is gone now, because everybody here tells me, you're not from here. It was a little bit rough. Teachers corrected me. We did not enunciate words the same here as they wanted me to there. Like I would say the, and they wanted me to say the. And so teachers corrected me, and kids definitely teased me. I definitely was the little hillbilly girl. And so, you adapt.
It seems
you
like
overcome and adapt, right?
Seems like you're very outgoing, and nowadays while you're here, you're still working full-time as a grant writer, but you're doing something else as a volunteer, helping the local communities in Wise County, the local businesses and the towns around here. Tell us about that.
Wise, Lee, Scott, and a little bit of Dickerson County. Big Stone Gap Girl is a Facebook page that I started about 5 months ago. And I focus on the local businesses, so local shops, local restaurants, local makers, and local musicians, because that is, and even when I lived, north in the big city, that was something I was very involved in, the Support Local movement, which is a national movement. I think it's really important that we choose each other in whatever community you're in. It's really important to choose each other and support each other. Because when push comes to shove, what do we have? We have each other. We have our neighbors. We have our family, our friends, our neighbors. And we will need our communities to be strong, not our corporate communities, which they play a role. Big box stores most certainly play a role in our country. But I think that local small businesses, makers, musicians, community members play a much bigger role.
Tell us some of the places around here. If some of our viewers come to visit, what are some of the places you would recommend them stopping in Big Stone Gap or Norton or anywhere around?
So definitely, so food, I think Appalachia has right here where we're at, the Mercantile. They have awesome sandwiches, great coffee. They roast their own beans in-house. Black Bear Barbecue won #1 in Wise County, and they won #3 for Southwest Virginia. Virginia Living Magazine just rated them #3 in Southwest Virginia. And I think they got that wrong. They should have been #1, but whatever. Because Black Bear Barbecue is the bomb. Barbecue is one of my favorite foods.
Well, it sounds like I'm gonna need to make a video there too.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And so then when you move on over to Big Stone Gap, definitely 404 Cafe and Creamery. They do Great coffee, once again, all the fancy smancy drinks. But they do ice cream, which is really good. They do local, so they do local Virginia products in their retail and in their ingredients. They have sandwiches. They're the Mercantile of Big Stone Gap. They do breakfast, sandwiches, coffees, ice cream. Very much the same sort of plan as here. The pizza place, Good Times Coal Fire Pizza in Big Stone Gap, is amazing. They have a big coal fire oven, which you can watch them bake in it because it's part of the dining room. And they're in the old Post building, so I think it's a 110-year-old building.
Now, is this a new business you were telling me about that just recently opened, maybe?
They have, I believe it opened as the general store in 2020. And then Brian and Jen Jones, who currently own it, took it over 4 years ago. I'm looking off screen at my husband to verify dates because I'm not the linear girl. But I believe they've had it 4 years. And so they're a bar and pub. They do local musicians play there 2 or 3 nights a week. They have live music. It's very family oriented. They're just a lovely, wonderful part of the community. Big Stone Gap also has, they have a brick fire pizza place too, Moondogs, and then they have Big Cherry Brewery and Kirkland's and Country Kitchen, which has an epic following from across counties. Tracy does an amazing job. In fact, the first time we went there to eat after moving home, I had chicken and dumplings, and literally, and David can attest to this, I teared up. And he is like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "These taste just like my grandma's." I'm like, I think my grandma might be in the kitchen, and my grandma's been gone 10 years. So Tracy does it. She hits home cooking like we all grew up with, on the nose every day of the week. And then when you keep on moving, Pennington Gap has a whole bunch of great restaurants. Charlie's is amazing. Stone Mountain Yogurt is amazing. And you keep moving into Jonesville, Tasha's is great.
Sounds like there's quite a few places I might need to visit.
Yes, there's really, really good eats here. Very good eats. There's everything you could want. And Norton and Wise, of course, have great food as well. The Shark Board in Wise is one of my favorites.
I hear you mentioning all the probably mom and pop, locally owned restaurants. That's what I document.
Yes.
I'm sure, they've got your fast foods around, but
we
you
have
see
all
find
of them.
that everywhere. But people don't drive to eat at McDonald's. They want to eat somewhere local that's authentic or locally owned. And besides the food, though, there's what else? I know there's a museum there in Big Stone Gap of some sort. I went to a coal museum, maybe.
Oh yes, there is there's the coal museum in Big Stone Gap. There is we have the outdoor drama for the state of Virginia, the Lonesome Trail of the Lonesome Pine.
Yes, okay.
The outdoor drama. We have the June Tolliver House, which is a folk museum.
Yes.
We have the Southwest Virginia Historical Museum and Park, which is incredible. It is an amazing historic building, plus the exhibits are wonderful. Folklore or family lore has it that my great uncle helped lay the hardwood floors in that building. I have not confirmed that as 100% true, but my family has told that story for generations. Oh, and the John Fox Jr. house is there, and the connection there. John Fox Jr. wrote The Trail of the Lonesome Pine.
So is that something you can do a tour on if you come to that house, you think?
Yes, you can get a private tour. The Visitor Center, Big Stone Gap Visitor Center, can hook you up with tours of the Coal Museum. And
I know the Visitor Center, because 4 years ago when I was here, we rented electric bicycles, actually, and toured all around Big Stone Gap. And there was a movie filmed there, Big Stone, called
10 years ago this year.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Called Big Stone Gap. Mm-hmm. And I went back and watched that.
And so Adriana Trigiani, who wrote the book, Big Stone Gap, and all the follow-on books in that series, also wrote the screenplay for the movie, and she grew up in Big Stone Gap. So yeah, that's a close to the heart. I was living in Chicago when the book came out. I was living in Chicago when the when the movie was filmed. But that was such a great kick to get all my northern friends to watch that movie and read that book.
Well, yeah, there's quite a few things to do, and I think people are looking to go back to the smaller areas, not the huge tourist areas like, you know, Pigeon Forge, the Smoky Mountains. People go there by the millions, but that's the problem. They go there by the millions, and you're kind of just another visitor. You're not really appreciated as much as you are when you come to these small, locally owned towns, especially like here in Appalachia, that in so many towns in the Appalachian region of the United States that lost coal mining business over the years, really struggling. And so tourism and people coming to visit is a big thing for them.
And Appalachia is very blessed in that we're right at the beginning of the Dragon Slayer, Highway 160, which will take you over the mountain through the some of the old coal camps and over the mountain into Kentucky to their big visitor center, the Dragon Slayer Visitor Center over there. We also have trails, lovely trails here. So this is a great place to come and hang out and eat good food and shop at some great little shops and be right in the heart of the access to a great motorcycle road, convertible road, just car enthusiast driving road. It's great.
Beautiful mountains.
Beautiful
Rivers
mountains. The rivers are great. And then all the museums and cultural stuff. I mean, they're even right here, they host live music in this venue. Big Stone has tons of live music. We have a big distillery in Pennington Gap, which is just like a half hour away, Axe Handle Distillery, which is doing their own gin and vodka and bourbon and has live music down there. The Bluegrass Pickers every Friday night out on the porch or in the log cabin in the wintertime. There's no place like home. We ended up moving back here because my husband, who literally, he's seen me in the mountains all over the world, and he said to me 3 years ago, "You're never happier than you are in these mountains, woman." And we bought a house and moved home. There's no place in the world like Appalachia.
Well, thank you for the interview, and I'll be seeing you again on my next visit.
All right.
Thank you, Wendy.
Good luck.
So what are you doing here? Tell us a little bit about this process. What's this big machine over here about?
This is espresso machine right here, and this is the espresso grinder.
Okay, so you're making an espresso.
Yeah.
That's a little bit fancy for somebody like me. I don't know what an espresso necessarily is. Tell us a little bit difference between espresso and regular coffee.
But it's got a lot more caffeine. You can see, like, it grinds it real fine. You tamp it in.
Okay.
And
that
it gives it a stronger
caffeine in it more by the way it's ground?
Yeah, it's good. Well, I mean, that'll be like, that's 2 pulls. I don't know exactly how much. That's be a lot of coffee in it right there. And it's a lot stronger. If you drink that, it'll make the hair on the back of your head stand up. This is the cold bucket. It's got,
you call this a cold bucket?
yeah, it's got 4 shots of espresso in it. Flavor. Top it with whipped cream and all the toppings. And so that's 4 shots of espresso, the milk. Just got the straw. And just...
All right, called the cold bucket, Appalachian Mercantile. I thought this was unique. Where'd you come up with this idea for this bucket at?
We've seen other coffee shops like doing that, and then we got the bucket, and we decided to call it the cold bucket.
Man, that's good. I like that.
It's pretty much like 2 lattes in one.
2 lattes.
Yeah, because it's got 4 shots of espresso.
Man, that's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. You wrote your coffee company. What do you mean by that? Tell me what you mean.
It's just a name. I roast my own coffee. We get the beans in green, and I roast them. And
you get them in green.
Yeah.
So I don't know nothing about coffee. They come in green, and you have to roast them.
Hold on a second. I'll grab them.
Oh, okay.
And then you roast it. If you got here this morning, like, and you smell kind of like a burnt smell in the morning, that's where I've been roasting coffee.
Okay.
So you roast it till it gets to like, it'll get to like this. And you can smell like, it doesn't smell like coffee when it first comes. Like,
no, it don't have that smell
like
to it.
Real earthy smell.
So we were talking a little while ago when we wasn't filming about you starting to like coffee and then become kind of a hobby or fascination, or what would you call it with your coffee?
I started off working at the prison on night shift as a corrections officer, and that was some nasty coffee. So we drank some bad coffee up there. So then I just got into it, and I started finding new ways to make it, like different ways to like brew the coffee, and I just got hooked on it. I get obsessive with like hobbies. It just happened to turn into a job.
Well, after it becomes a job, it ain't as fun no more.
Yeah, it's still fun. This is like my dream job though, so
oh, really?
It's a lot better than being in a prison working.
Yeah. So I like your shirt there. Do you sell those shirts here?
Yeah, I've got a website, and I've got a bunch of different shirts on the website.
Okay. About the store or Appalachia, or what
It's
you got?
well, it's just like a clothing website. I probably got 20 different T-shirts on there.
And how would they find that? What's that called? From your Facebook page, or
Yeah, it's on our Facebook, and then
they can find you on Facebook under Appalachian Mercantile, right?
yeah, and then there's a link on there, and you can go to it and you can order it, and they'll ship it to you in like a couple days. It'll be there in about a week.
Okay, cool.
But I've got a lot of Appalachia. I've got to get more out here. We're sold out of them right now, but we'll get them out here too. And I've got a bunch of different designs.
All right, Tommy. I appreciate the day.
you for
I've been here
coming.
about all day, and
Yeah.
got to meet your mom and
Yep. Been a busy
a
day.
bunch of your family, and it's had quite a few different people come in.
Yeah.
And I plan on coming back, guys. If you'd like to see more of Appalachia, some more of the buildings, some more of the businesses, or all of Wise County here in Virginia, there's other towns like Norton and Wise and Big Stone Gap, Pennington Gap,
Yeah.
several places that's got restaurants and different things that we're going to try to get to document. So there'll be places you can come visit and come by and
Yeah, come see us.
come by and see Tommy. And your wife's name, you told me earlier,
Shelby.
Shelby.
Yeah.
She's working at the
Yeah, we got a dog, Appalachian pet grooming too.
pet grooming. Well, bring your dog with you and drop it off and get it groomed, and you
Yeah.
come down and get you something to eat. And guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video, leave us a comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye-bye.